Okay, it should be sending, I guess, a request for your permission for recording. Well, we've got 30 people now, so that's a great number. And I'm just going to go ahead and start since we do have a full agenda. We'll try to end on time. So as you know, this is the Active Transportation Data Working Group. AT+DaWG. So we've been deciding whether we want to go with DWG or DAWG. Either one is fine with me. And if people have preferences, feel free to mention that. But that is our new name. So yay! We don't have a new logo yet, but today we're going to be talking about our new strategic plan and trying to move forward with our new organization. So I'm going to put a couple of links in the chat here to our website and also our mailing list. And I think Alijan will also be mentioning that later in the presentation. Okay, so we're going to start with some really brief introductions. If you can just add your name and organization in the chat, that would be very helpful. We're not going to go around and do formal introductions this time. And just a reminder that we want to refrain from doing any marketing on the chat. But just your name and organization and who you are. That's great. Thank you. And so as you're doing that, I'll give you the rest of what we're going to talk about. So as I said, the strategic plan is our number one thing we want to decide on today. And then we're going to talk about conversations with colleagues for 2026. Some ideas for subgroup information formation that we're considering. Also, Alijan will give us an update on the communications subgroup. Rachel's going to share some information about our liaison subgroup. And we want to make sure to get the next meeting on your calendar where we are going to do, hopefully, some elections, including chair. So stay tuned for that. All right. So I'm not going to introduce the leadership team very much other than you're going to hear from some of us. There hasn't been any changes and you've heard from us before, but these are our leaders. And I'm grateful today for Sarisha Koturi, who is taking notes as Phil Lastly's not able to join today. So let's talk about the strategic plan. So thanks to Liz Stoltz, who put together the plan, or at least the draft, and then Rachel Panic, who edited. So I am going to put a link to the full document here in the chat. And I've made this, hopefully I've made it so that you can add comments. So if you have any comments on the document as we talk, feel free to add those. It's a Google Doc. And let me know if you can't access that. Try to get it to you another way. So here is the mission statement. So my hope is if we can all agree on it today, then we can move forward. So the Active Transportation and Data Working Group is dedicated to advancing sustainable, safe, and equitable mobility. We do so by leveraging collaborative expertise and active transportation and micromobility data. Micromobility, will make sure to spell it right in the official version, to create insights toward a better transportation system for all. Our mission is to foster innovation, support inclusive active transportation solutions, and empower international communities through strategic data analysis and advocacy. So you notice that we are not defining active transportation other than, yes, it does include micromobility, but we're we are kind of leaving it vague, and I think we're doing that a little deliberately so that as that area expands and changes, we won't have to rewrite the document. Another thing that's not mentioned here is what we mean by data. We're not being super specific in this whole document, including the mission statement, on what we mean by that. And we're deliberately being vague so it's more inclusive. So any comments as you read this, any big picture thoughts that you feel we're missing here? Or would you rather have it more specific? Or would you rather have it the way it is, more inclusive? I think mission statements usually are. So any comments? Yes, Eileen, you should be able to unmute.
Yeah, yeah.
Great.
I'm sorry, it just took me a minute. I just wonder if maybe we should just leave it at data and not say active transportation and micromobility. Just say by leveraging collaborative expertise and data. Because wouldn't we also want to look at non-active travel data?
Fair point. Yeah, I see that. We definitely want to use data sources other than active travel to understand active travel. Mm-hmm. Any other thoughts? Jim?
Does the statement empower international communities leave out domestic?
I hope not, but we can add domestic. That's a good idea. Okay. So any other comments? Okay. So I'm going to have a survey on the text after this, but I'm going to first go through the key elements before I send you that so we can vote and get more input on this. Okay, so then the strategic themes here are research activation, and under that is sharing the research findings, soliciting and developing and sharing the research needs. The second theme is inclusive innovation, so enhancing data collection and analysis, advocating for data-driven policy change, and supporting equity and inclusion. The third theme is broad collaboration. So fostering collaboration, education, and engaging with folks. And the fourth theme is practical impact. Promoting active transportation and micromobility, and monitor and evaluate progress. So yeah, any comments on those? Jim, do you have a comment?
I'm sorry, I'll put my hand down.
Oh, no problem. Okay. So moving on to key strategic initiatives. So this is the most specific we're getting in this document. Oh, wait, we've got comments. Okay. Brian, go ahead.
Good morning. Thanks, Krista. This is maybe a minor thing. I don't know if there's some order of importance. I kind of feel like the practical impact is a pretty important I'm kind of more driven by work in research and doing inclusive innovation and collaboration that has practical impact. So it doesn't mean that we have to reorder it, but I'm just kind of curious when we have these lists and they're numbered, does it suggest or somehow interpret it that there's some level of importance?
That was exactly my comment. So I'm aligned in that it would be good with any list to prioritize them because there will be a lot to take on. So we want to make sure we don't get paralysis by doing too much at once.
Yeah, I think that we did deliberately order these in terms of what this group is going to focus on. But of course, we want to include practical impact, even though we're more of a coming from a research lens. Practical impact is the whole point of it. So we want to include that. But our group is like, first, we got to make sure the data is being collected. And it's being collected in a reasonable way in order to get to the practical impact. So I don't know if this is actually saying it's less important. It's just kind of more down the road. I don't know. We didn't put that much thought into it. Rachel, you are the one who actually organized these themes. So yes, let's hear from you.
No, I so appreciate this feedback, and now that I'm sort of looking at it through this lens, well, first I think you can kind of see like the roots of this being a former TRB committee, I think, and sort of like the organization of this. So like I appreciate you drawing that, like bringing that to our attention. And then I would say I almost want to like theme for this practical impact. I kind of feel like it should be the like umbrella theme. I don't know what this means for our numbering, our numbering sequence, but I agree that sort of each of the first three, so 1, 2, and a research activation, inclusive innovation, collaboration, the whole goal of doing this ultimately is this practical impact. And so I don't know what it looks like for those themes 1, 2, and 3 to be the antecedent of theme 4, but that's something we can think about in terms of like how we present this. I think that's great feedback.
And I see Anna is mentioning maybe reorder theme 3 and 4. Do you mean like put 4 first and 3 second? Is that what you mean?
Well, I think that like just what the previous speaker was talking about, that some of this is overarching versus the more specific tasks. But I would think that the broad collaboration is kind of a more general thing, and then the promote and actually impact would be higher. But I like where everybody's going with this, so I'll stop.
Great, thank you. Okay, so then the last and most specific part of the plan is a key strategic list of initiatives. So we've got short-term initiatives, we're thinking the coming year, and then long-term initiatives. And this, I think, is not supposed to be an all-inclusive list. But for the next year, we want to focus on hosting the conversations with colleagues, keeping that going, making it stronger, better, and then also continuing to provide a venue for discussion, and that may include potentially listservs or other methods for doing that discussion in addition to the conversations with colleagues. And then activating our coordination with other organizations, and that's through the liaisons that we'll be talking about later. So those are very specific and things we can do in the coming year. And then the long-term initiatives are to support and find research funding for the projects that we support, and support pilot projects to demonstrate how these innovative active transportation solutions can be helped by data analysis. So that gets to the practical part. So how do you feel about those in terms of short term, long term? And then is there something that, I mean, there are a lot of things not on this list, but if you have something specific you want to mention, you can either put that in the chat or bring it up here. And I'm also going to put this survey in the chat because we want to get your input on the first mission statement that I showed and also the themes. So this is a way for us to get your input a little more directly. We've got, you can enter questions or comments on the mission statement and also on the themes. And again, if you have any other things on the strategic initiatives, I didn't make a question for that one, but you can put that in the chat. So I was hoping maybe we'd be like, oh, this is great, but I think we're maybe not quite ready to approve this plan, given that we've gotten some interesting and useful feedback. So I think we might go and work on redrafting a little bit. Okay, Eric Katz is mentioning promoting national regional events that align with mission statement. Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. Yeah. So we'll continue working on this and hopefully make it better. Some of the things I noticed are missing, as I mentioned, is we are not defining active transportation, and it sounds like that's okay. And we are also not being specific about the data types. And that this gets back to one of the first comments on the mission statement. Here, let me go back to that. We're not we're not specifically calling out infrastructure data or count data or volume data or crash data or other data types. We're being very open, and we can even remove this active transportation and micromobility data and I want to make sure that's somewhere in here, but maybe not right at that place, so we can make sure we do include other types of data. So if that's okay with everybody, that's good guidance. I appreciate that. Any other thoughts? Oh, great. Thanks, Jim. Appreciate that. Okay, well, you're always welcome to put that in your comments in the survey, as well as in the chat, or email them to me or anybody else on the leadership team. Ali Jean, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. So I want to give people a little time, so no hurry, but are you ready to talk
Yeah,
about
yeah, yeah.
communications? Great.
Yeah.
Okay. I'll put these links in the chat too.
Yeah, that sounds great. Thanks, Krista. Good afternoon, everyone. I guess good after morning would be a better inclusive term for everybody from East Coast to West Coast. I want to talk about the communications. So in the communications subgroup, we deal with the MailChimp account, how we manage our subscription list, as well as what type of emails that we send. And also we have a newsletter content. We try to send it every month, sometimes bi-monthly as well. I wanted to put there our so email the subscription form. So if you just sign up this form, you will be able to see our emails. Or I just put it like with the QR form as well. That QR form, if you scan it from your phone, that will bring you to the email list subscription form. So if anybody you think that who should hear from us, please share this sign up form. We are also looking for content for the newsletter. We are looking for suggestions to put into our newsletter. So please, if you have any news, if you have any announcement, please let us know about it through this email address, and then we can include in in our newsletter form. Another thing I want to mention is the next slide is the YouTube channel that we have. So of course we change every the name. We adopted the new active transportation data working group on every platform, including this YouTube channel. Our main content is generally the conversations with colleagues recordings. Maybe it could be an idea that we can also post these quarterly meetings in the YouTube channel as well, since we're going to have the recordings. Um, uh, yeah, just wanted to let you know that we also have this YouTube channel that you can reach out to the conversation with colleagues recordings over here as well. So as you can see, we have 11 views, we have 15 views. So contribute more on the views. Next slide, please.
I watched it, Alejan.
Yeah, that sounds great. And we're looking for volunteers actually um, for the communication subgroup. So currently, again, our main tasks involves the website content, the email list management, the MailChimp account management. We also think about setting up and actively use a LinkedIn account as well. This will be another platform for us to advertise our meetings, our conversation with colleagues, and such. You see our website on the left side as well. So we have the conversation with colleagues recordings and all the different types of resources and documents tab uh, at our website too. So to create this communication subgroup, we have a list of volunteers from previous survey. We also, of course, like look for more volunteers to come up with this. This subgroup of the communications. So please reach out if you're interested. I put my own email address as well as the our working group email address. So please feel free to reach out. I can send you the doodle link. We're about to set a date to meet with the communications volunteers. So please let me know. Let us know if you're also interested, so that we can meet by ourselves to how to manage the communications part of the data working group. That's all. I don't know if I missed anything on the chat, but yeah, please feel free to let me know.
Great. Thanks, Alejan. And
Yeah.
thank you, Will, for posting the link to the YouTube channel.
Yep. Thank you.
Any questions on the communications? I'm so glad you're going to have that meeting scheduled soon. That's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah. Of course.
Okay. Seeing no questions. We also want to set up some data type subgroups, and we're still discussing what that's going to look like. But these would be cross-cutting groups that would identify and recommend and coordinate speakers with the conversations with colleagues group, assist with writing and editing the research needs statements. They would have liaisons with topic-specific groups to present at conferences, and then manage topic-specific group discussions like a listserv or some other platform that they may prefer. So I'm suggesting that we have a volume data group, which is already well established, and add infrastructure data because that is definitely a need. And then also I'd like to include safety data. So I'm proposing that we start with these 3 data types, and we'll need to identify leaders for those subgroups within our data working group. So is there support for these 3 data type subgroups? And is this something you think would be useful? Yes, Brian, we could add a behavioral data. Yep. Behavioral data might be a separate group. I think it's warranted, right? Okay. That's useful. Emerging variables. Jacob. Yes. So there's a lot not included in these three. So we could just do other. To be inclusive. It's a big data. Yeah. Okay, and categories from NCHRP 08165. Nan, thanks for sending that. Infrastructure, safety, volume, qualitative and experimental is kind of the behavioral, context and environmental data, and then institution and programmatic data. Cool, that is a good way we might organize it. I think our intent at this point was not to be all inclusive when we were talking about this. It was more to branch out from just volume, our focus on volume data, and try to more actively get involved in these other data sets. So this is great, and we'll see if we can do add some more categories. So I appreciate that. Okay. Performance measures. Okay. Thank you. Do you want to talk about that, Hagen?
You mean, hello?
Yes, we can hear
Okay,
you.
so, sorry about that. I took my camera off and it gave me a message saying, do I agree with something? I forgot. Yeah, performance measures, just, looking at, say like if a community implements, say, a protected bike lane over a bike lane, or just a bike lane over nothing, taking data before the implementation happened, and looking at crashes and volumes, and after the improved bike facility is implemented, as crashes decreased and volumes increased, things like that. That's, I guess, it's the same thing I just said there, but there's not a lot of jurisdiction. There's not a lot of cities that are doing that, because here at FHWA, or Volpe Center did a study, and we tried to find communities that did that. There's not a lot of cities that are doing performance measure uh, uh, analysis. So yeah, I think it'll be something to look into there.
Great, thank you. Frank.
Hi. One thing I guess I'm kind of wondering about with this is siloing, which kind of falls on that point where, in thinking about like volume data, for instance, there is a dependency on infrastructure data, and in thinking about safety data, there's a dependency on infrastructure data, in terms of like analysis that we do, but also possibly in terms of research needs and like how it all fits together in terms of the big picture of data. So I guess my one question with a structure like this is kind of how deep we would have these subgroups go into their own subdomain, I guess, versus, I mean, there's only 50 people on this call. So like how to kind of manage that, like everything's related, but there also are some particularities to each of these areas.
So the thing I'm trying to address with this is that we have focused a lot on volume data, which is great. And we would like to expand beyond that. And so my concern is if we continue with our current very open, we love data approach, we may neglect infrastructure data, for example. And it's so valuable, and I don't want to neglect the other data types. So and this wouldn't be like a group that it would need to communicate, as I'm saying, with all these other groups. that within our with all the other subgroups, I should say, the liaisons, the conversations with colleagues. So it could be one organizer, and then all of us could be belonging to, like, I want to be on the volume and the safety data and the infrastructure group, because I'm interested in all of those. But at least we have a champion for that data type. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. But yeah, great discussion here. So thank you for that input. We're still trying to figure out how we're gonna do that. So this is all really useful. Appreciate it. Okay, we're going on to conversations with colleagues. Tony, Will, and Nathan.
Hi, I'll jump in here. And I'll apologize for Nathan. I just got an email from him. He got pulled away at the last minute, so he's unable to join us today. But I know Will's here, so I'll ask him if there's anything I missed to jump in. But yeah, so it's an exciting time for conversations with colleagues with the new direction of our group. It's a great time to build upon sort of the organic success of this program that's now been going on for several years. For those, I think most of the folks on the call have probably been engaged in one or more of these, but for those who might not, the conversation with colleagues is really about putting together a very brief presentation. We pick a topic and someone to open up a discussion and really focus on just a little taste of what's going on. The real focus of these is actually to have discussion with the participants. And many times that's the big takeaways really come from folks who contribute in that conversation. So we really try to manage that and have topics that are relevant to things that are working with this committee. And per our previous discussion just now, one of the things we're really focused on is balancing out the different things. For those of you who have attended in the past, most of our focus has really been a lot about count data, count programs and stuff. And there's always going to be a big part of that because that's a large part of what we do. But we're really also wanting to make sure that we're capturing different issues and things that are relevant to the people here that are actually involved. This is a great opportunity right now. Some of you may have taken the survey that was back in the summer about your different interests. We're getting ready to have a planning committee orientation just the week after Thanksgiving, December 3rd. So if you actually responded an interest for getting involved with Conversation Colleagues, you'll be getting an email. I'll work with Alishan to make sure that there's a link to that on the website. So basically to invite everybody to come listen to that, to really discuss where we're at with conversations with colleagues, thinking about the 2026 calendar moving forward. And we are looking to sort of expand our group right now. As I said, Nathan and Will and I are the 3 members. We really want to get up to 6 and really maybe get some diversity and backgrounds involved. So we'll be looking for folks who are interested in committing to the working group, but also participating with us. You don't need to necessarily be part of the working group to be involved in a lot of the roles and activities we have. So we'll get into that and do some brainstorming that week. And then, Krista, can you get the next slide? And then, so yeah, we will talk about the 2026, and I guess now is a good time as any for folks to see. Previously we have been pretty ad hoc. We do anywhere from 3, sometimes 4 of these a year. We just did a great conversation in October where we had Nathan McNeil and Sarisha Kathuri present on some of their recent research. Great attendance. We're really trying this year to start having a calendar of these. So we've chosen the 4 dates here that you'll see before. These are generally the second Tuesday of the month quarterly. And we're also going to be exploring, and this will be some of the stuff we'll talk about on December 3rd, having a rotation of some specific topics to really make sure we're covering things. So we'll get into that. But for now, it's good to know if you wanted to throw something in your calendar because you're obsessed with conversations with colleagues. Those are the tentative dates for 2026. And as Alishan mentioned, all the other sessions we have, I think 22 or 23 of those now are available on the website. Please view them. Everybody loves to know that there's more clicks and views. I don't necessarily care about that, but and then at any time when you have suggestions for that, reach out to myself, Will, or Nathan. We're always looking for ideas and presentations. It's really something, we want to make sure that we're aware of the stuff that's relevant to people that are in this group. And I'll throw my name into the chat box if you have a specific interest or questions about the Tuesday meeting that's coming up, or being part of the planning committee, you can email me directly. But otherwise, everybody should be getting an invite to join that conversation with us. So, and we'll, I don't know if I ran through that. So if there's anything I missed, you can jump in.
Yeah, I would just reiterate that we have these great topics, and what often happens is, oh, this is great, this is fantastic. Is there research on this, right? So it actually turns into a conversation of gaps in the research after the small talks. So yeah, I'm excited to help out with that, but we need more help. And of course, even if you're not on that little 6 group, everybody's involved with giving us ideas. Everybody's involved with generating ideas and collaborating that together.
And that meeting is December 3rd at what time? For
11 Central, you could, yeah, 12 Eastern, 11 Central, 9 Pacific. I guess that leaves only 10 Mountain Time. The neglected Mountain Time. I'm always apologizing for that.
sorry, what was it, Eastern?
It's at noon Eastern.
Noon, okay.
And there isn't a link yet, so don't go try to find it. I'll work with Alajan. We haven't actually set out the meeting link, so that'll be forthcoming.
Great, thank you. What about Hawaii?
Oh, I'll add that.
Thanks, Cara. Yeah. Okay. Any other questions on the conversations with colleagues? Do you want to talk at all about topics now, or just wait until that December 3rd meeting?
Yeah, I mean, I know I want to make sure we can get through our agenda. So if there are topics, send them in the chat or send them to Will or I, or actually, that's one of the things, the December 3rd meeting. So even if you're not thinking you want to be part of the committee, if you have some ideas and want to join that conversation, we're always open to the suggestions.
Great, thank you. Okay.
And I should apologize. My slides are not nearly as cool as Alajan's. He's got lots of graphics.
They're great, Tony. So the big thing is we're deciding, we're going to see if just talking about count data and then infrastructure data topics. So again, this is tying into our topic areas.
Yeah, and part of that will be hopefully coming up with a cycle or cadence, and to really make sure that we're not neglecting topics, that maybe that we have certain pattern for topics that we cover each year.
Great, thank you. Rachel, are you ready?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Tony, I also noticed that my slides are like the equivalent of beige and boring compared to Alajan's. His slides are really nice. So
that's why he's communications.
yeah, he's really setting the bar too high for the rest of us, I think. Yes, so let me talk a little bit about liaisons. So historically, a central purpose of this group of people when we were in sort of embedded within TRB as a subcommittee is that we were sort of working across different committees. We've had like 5 parent committees, so that we could sort of share data and kind of build this mutual learning. And now as an independent group, we have an opportunity to do that in sort of a more kind of open fashion. And so the way that we've thought about doing this is through the idea of establishing liaisons. So at our last meeting, our last sort of big group meeting, we asked you to share some of your we asked you to share sort of connections that you have to other organizations, which you all absolutely did in flying colors. I'm looking at my list here. We now have established liaisons from TRB, WTS, APA, ITE, ASCE, and APBP. So thank you all so much for everyone who has already kind of signed up with me to be a liaison. So that's great. We're still thinking through kind of strategically what it will look like to coordinate with them, and we're working through that now. But if you're on that list of people, you should have received, if you're someone who's already signed up to be a liaison, You should have seen an email from me earlier this week where I solicited feedback about updates that you'd like to share at these meetings. I think that's an email that you can regularly expect from this group. So we'll send you an email. We want to know about conferences you're going to. We want to know about, relevant updates that you think are important to share. And hopefully after the conferences that you go to, we'd like to, get some feedback from you about what did you see that's relevant to AT+DaWG and the work that we're doing, so that we can kind of create this pool of communications. And of course, there'll be natural connections to conversations with colleagues, as we're already seeing. So thank you so much to everyone who's already signed up, but it's never too late. So if you think that you have a connection with another organization who's doing is doing something related to AT+DaWG's aims, please send me an email. My email is on the slides. And then can you go ahead and go to the next one, Krista? Thanks. So some examples of the collaborations I already mentioned. We've been introduced to some new data sets, which we may kind of explore a little bit more further in the coming months. We will have some upcoming opportunities for this group to support some NCHRP research, which we'll find out more about in the next week or two. And probably the most sort of kind of upfront opportunity our liaison group has presented currently is collaborations at conferences and conference meetups. So I think I have one more slide, Krista. Hopefully. Yes. Okay, great. So thank you for everyone who shared conferences that you will be attending or you think is relevant to this group so far. So that includes TRB in January, NatMech, International Cycling Safety Conference, which will be held in the US this year. So that's a big, exciting opportunity for this group. The ITE Safety Council, APBP's annual meeting, and the Active Living Conference, and then ASCE Infrastructure Conference. So if you are going to one of these conferences in the next year in 2026, please send me an email. So one of the things we're going to be doing, my email, of course, is on the slide. One of the things that we are going to be doing is coordinating everyone who's going and who's presenting so that we can help you facilitate an informal meetup. So you can meet and, discuss data. And then we would love to hear back from you after you attend this conference about what you've learned and what you'd like to share with us. Specifically for TRB, we started curating a list of panels and poster sessions that are relevant to this group. I actually, right before this meeting, just came from the TRB bike committee meeting. And so we actually got the full slated list of all of the bike the bike lectern sessions and poster sessions. And so we're going to curate that list and then share it out with you, send it out to you in one of our email communications. And then we're also documenting everyone who's able to join, and hopefully we can schedule an informal meetup while we're there. So I see Eileen and has a question.
Are you interested in international conferences too?
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. I'm only asking because I go to the Walk 21 conference every year. This year it was in Toronto. I didn't know you were interested in this, so I didn't take notes on the kinds of things you'd be interested in. But the next one is actually going to skip a year. It'll be in 2027 in Montreal. Okay. So it'll be a lot closer to here.
That's great. Yes. So if you get a chance, can you send me an email about that conference? I'll add it to our list. And so if others are attending, we'll kind of collect all those emails and make sure everyone knows how they can meet up together. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. And I see John also has a question, comment.
Yes, thank you, Rachel. You had distributed a spreadsheet of conferences, and I'm wondering, are you looking for us or me as potentially the ITE liaison to fill out about the ITE conference?
Yes. So if you're attending and you are presenting at that conference, it would be great to get the information about your presentation so that other members of this group can come and attend and learn. Or if there are other presentations that you're not actively involved in, but you think are important, or events that don't have to be research presentations, they can be other events that you think are relevant, yes, please add them to that spreadsheet. It may not be organized in the best way to do that. So by all means, please feel free to make changes to the spreadsheet or make recommendations for how you'd like me to change it. So that,
Sure.
yes, you can share that information with us. Yeah, so we can distribute it to anyone who's attending.
Okay, one more thought. There is a short time frame. The call for abstracts is live now, and submission deadline is December 2nd. Among the 49 people we have here, I think there might be some folks interested in presenting. They've got a couple tracks of interest, technology and innovation, where they're looking for leveraging data analytics, AI, and ITS to enhance safety. And then there's a safety track looking at implementing a safe system approach. I'm probably going to be submitting an abstract in that area.
Great. And this is for the ITE conference that's in Detroit?
Yes, in Detroit,
Okay.
July 19 through 22.
Great. I just added that to the chat, so interested people can find the abstract link there.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, thanks, John. Okay, so thanks so much. If you're interested in liaising or other things, feel free to send me an email.
Thank you so much, Rachel. This is really helpful. I'm wondering if we can post some of this on our website. Maybe
A good idea.
maybe, I don't know if the list, if you'd be okay with, we used to post a list of all our liaisons on the website.
Oh, yeah.
So we could do that. But also a list of all the conferences somewhere. I don't know. We might want to get with Alijan and think about what makes sense.
That's a good idea. And at the minimum, like have this like list of kind of curated conference like presentations or events on the website too. I think I currently have everyone's email attached to that. So we would kind of take away the personal information first, but then yes, like post those events on the website, I think would be super helpful.
Yeah, sounds good.
Thanks.
Thanks for all the good input, and thanks, John, for that information on the ITE and others. Okay, so we are nearing the end of our agenda. So lots of ways to get involved with our group, conversations with colleagues, research. Sarisha, we didn't talk about research. Or do you want to say any last words about research? Thank you for taking notes again.
Sure. Yeah, I think in the coming year, we will be focusing more on research since the committee is just getting started and getting established. So we haven't really gotten much into it, but our intent is to get back to talking about some research ideas. Rachel, I was also at the bike committee meeting where there were some ideas discussed. Yesterday, I was at the pet committee meeting of TRB where likewise there were a lot of research ideas. So we have notes from that. And so we'll be trying to narrow down data focused topics and think about which ones we could submit to next year's funding cycles. One thing I will say is, with the change in rules earlier, anybody could submit the NCHRP synthesis statements, and now I think it does have to be an employee of FHWA or any DOT staff, and so anybody who's on this call or are members of DOTs, please get in touch with us. We'd like to maintain a list so that if we develop these research problem statements, we can pass it on to you to see if that would be something you would consider submitting through your DOTs for potential funding. Rachel, did you want to add anything?
No, I don't think so. I feel like I'm still from the TRB side in terms of research needs statements, still feels a little unclear about what that process will look like in the committees and through sort of our partner organizations that actually submit the statement. So yeah, TBD, we'll try to figure that out as we
We'll
go.
figure it out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, one other thing I will say before closing is with the TRB subcommittee, what we also did was to track ongoing research, both at universities as well as NCHRP and other AASHTO funded research, and that's something that we will continue to keep doing.
Great. Thanks, Sarisha. So I think you have in all the, oh, so there's a comment here. Anna. Oh, great. So Anna says she's a member of the AASHTO Safety Committee. Yes, thank you. And can review RNSs and that maybe that we may want to consider for the safety committee. So by the safety committee. So that's super helpful. Thank you, Anna. And hopefully you're making a note of that, Sarisha. Great. And they just reviewed and submitted 4 RNSs for NCHRP consideration. Wonderful. That's great.
Yeah,
Thank
sorry,
you.
I think you probably already know the timeline, but yeah, they always want them by the 1st of November. So we kind of just missed that window for this round, but that means we're set up to have the entire next 12 months to put together some research need statements, and I'm happy to push those forward for AASHTO Safety Committee to consider.
Anna, in the past, we were plugged into the AASHTO Safety Committee and were able to submit ideas, and then you went through like a process to identify which ideas the committee liked, and then we ended up submitting the full research statements. Is there a way to sort of for us to get back into that? I know we haven't been doing that for the last few years, so or at least since COVID.
Yeah, I think how AASHTO's safety committee operates right now is they ask for ideas. They have kind of a running list of ideas and needs. And then it's more they propose, their top priority topics. We get those kind of voted on internally. And then once we get those kind of flushed out, then we ask for formal research needs statements. So we try to save everybody a lot of time. Don't submit a full research needs statement yet, but get kind of feedback from the safety committee first, and then we'll fine tune the 3 or 4 that we want to push forward. So that's how it worked this year.
Okay. Is Kelly Hardy still involved with the
Yes,
safety?
she is.
Okay.
Yep. She is
Yeah.
still the liaison.
Okay, so maybe I'll send you an email because we used to get invited to that meeting earlier and somehow we fell off the list. So I can send you an email post this meeting to figure out how to get back on.
Great. Well, thank you. That's very exciting to hear. I see a note from Will. How do we want to share @DaWG with others? Yes, it would be great if you want to work with Alijan on communications. Any specific ideas, Will?
Yeah, I just wanted to open that up. Beyond, I feel like it wouldn't be appropriate to like put this name in the chat of TRB committees, right? But how can I help do that? So I'm just kind of throwing that idea out there. Or should I be putting that in the because they're saying stuff that we should be also working on. So we're all in those committees. Some of us are, but how can we spread the word? Yeah.
It's a good question. You mean through TRB?
Right. Like, are we going to say, hey, don't mention it because we don't want to, or should we? Should I be waving the banner? Hey, come over here. So just kind of open that conversation up. I don't have any ideas yet.
Okay, I don't really, TRB is so, has become much more restrictive than before. So For those who just attended the pedestrian committee or the bicycle committee, do you have a sense of how we might interact with them?
I don't have a concrete sense, but my thought is that they like maybe specifically like how they're developing their research needs statements, I think will be a little bit more internal than perhaps in previous years, and a little bit more the research needs themselves will not be like created by the TRB staff, but the process for developing them will be led by the TRB staff. So like that's what I think what they're figuring out how to do in the committees currently. So I don't know. I think probably the best way to engage with them personally, of like others, feel free to disagree or throw other ideas out there, is probably through like I understanding what the committee's sort of key priorities are and figuring out how we can support them kind of externally, like from the outside, and then whether that's, you know, through developing our own research needs statements that align with their priorities, or if we say their priorities aren't good enough for us, then we design our own statements. And then in terms of getting other people involved, I think probably sharing that in the committees is not, during like a committee meeting, is probably not the way to go. But I think probably through like LinkedIn or through our own networks is probably the best. Yeah.
Oh, Yanni. Good to
Hello
see you.
there. Hey, good to see you too. Thank you for organizing these meetings. My 2 cents is that whoever, you know, tries to communicate with TRB, the first person that they need to reach out to is the TRB staff that are responsible for each committee, because essentially they're the ones who pretty much manage the committees, unlike what was happening a few months ago. They're the ones who develop the meeting agendas. They are pretty much just like what chairs used to do. They chair the committees, and the chairs become more like facilitators. So we absolutely, or you absolutely, need to get the green light from the TRB RSOs, the research or the responsible staff officers. And if they give the green light, then I guess then you can communicate with the chairs and the members of the various committees. But whenever I try to propose something to our TRB person, they could not really give us the green light for different things. So I second what you said about, you know, the restrictions.
Okay, so talking to TRB might be a little tricky. So maybe we don't. Yeah, I'll let Rachel think about that too. And thanks, Yanni, for helping us understand.
Well, which is not good, but yeah, TRB has become very, very strict. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, well, we only have a couple minutes, so again, if you can join our mailing list, if you haven't, I'll put that link again in the chat here. And we're having our CWC organizational meeting on the 3rd at noon Eastern. Contact Tony about that, or Will or Nathan. Our next quarterly meeting is going to be Tuesday, February 7th at 2 p.m. Eastern. So we're going ahead with quarterly. Uh-oh. Is that noon Eastern? Yeah, sorry. Noon Eastern. I saw that look, Sarisha. Yeah, I think it might have been noon. 2 p.m. my time. Sorry about that. I think it might be. Let's look at the website. It'll be on there. Watch the website and our emails for the actual time here. We'll be sending that out. And then active members team, you can join. You can become more active, help with the website improvements through the group. Alijan is organizing, become a liaison, talk to Rachel, write research ideas, talk to Sarisha, and help guide our group. So we hope you can become more active with us as we move forward. And as I mentioned, next meetings, we're going to focus on elections. We haven't quite figured out what that's going to look like, but consider if you want to become more of a leader in the group, we would love to have you. Okay, and thank you, Anna, for that additional information. That's great. Okay, well, we are at time, so thanks everyone. I really appreciate it, and have a great quarter, and we'll see you at one of these events.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Krista, sorry, yeah, sorry, I think you said Feb 17th, 7th, and it was 17th. So I was trying to look at
Okay,
that for the
I
note.
saw some.
I think the time is yeah, sorry. I should keep my face more impassive. So
No,
sorry.
it's okay. You don't have a poker face. I was just like, oh
Yeah.
no, did I not check that?
No. I was like, wait, what? Because I was, yeah, trying to take notes. And so I was like, which one
Right.
is it? So
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, thanks for a great meeting. I will talk to you soon, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thanks. Yeah, if you can send me the notes, that would be great.
So I
Appreciate
put it in the same folder as our presentation in the subcommittee
Great.
folder. Yeah.
Perfect.
So
Okay.
is this something you'll send out, or is this more for our internal consumption?
I usually post it on the website.
Okay. So yeah, so it's there if you want to look at it, but I'll just look at it once to make sure that it's postable and
Okay.
clean up anything. Yeah.
Okay. Great.
All right.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
Krista. Bye.
Okay. Bye.